Okay, so we have the wonderful Yasmin here, who I very rudely kicked off when she joined. I'm so sorry, Yasmin. I wanted to give you this time. So I'm going to ask you to turn on your video. There we go. Yasmin, it's so good to have you here. Oh, I love what you're wearing. This is cool.
Thank you. Thought I'd put some effort in.
So okay, we've got, am I right in thinking you've got a little presentation that you were gonna?
Yes, I do. Shall I go ahead and do I share my screen?
I think, well, let's do a little intro first. Do you want to
Sure.
introduce yourself and then tell us about Official London Theatre, what you do?
Cool, amazing. So I'm Yasmin. I'm currently a content administrator for Official London Theatre. So what that means is I work on website and social content. So it's super fun. I get to create lots of content across various social media accounts for different events and promotions and things like that. And then I also, I work on updating a website. But yeah, I had quite a sort of unconventional route into the industry. I did an internship and then ended up working here once I finished university last year. So yeah, looking forward to getting into it a bit more.
Amazing. Okay, fantastic. Well, in that case, introduction done. I can take this screen down. You can get your presentation up and then you can just dive straight in.
Cool, just give me one moment.
You've got all the time in the world. We haven't even hit your official time yet. Anyone, just as a reminder while we're doing that, anyone who has any questions for anyone, I know I've said this a couple of times already, but just to make sure that everyone has heard it, any questions, live questions that you have for Yasmin, we won't have time to answer the questions probably while people are speaking. Same with Ewan. If anyone has any questions that they wanted to ask him, please do just shove all of your questions in the Q&A box anyway, because we are going to be gathering all of the questions that people have and then sending them to the speakers afterwards for them to answer post-event. And that will either be in written format or it will be in selfie video, depending on what our speakers prefer to answer with. Yeah, so keep asking questions. It doesn't matter if we're not answering them here and then, they will get answered. Are you all right with the presentation?
I think it's having some problems with my permissions. Do you have, would it be okay if you shared it? Or?
Absolutely, that's why I've got all of the copies. Don't you worry.
Amazing.
Oh, here we go. Just bear with me, everyone. I've got your PowerPoint. What was it called? It was called, yes. Okie dokie. Let's open this. Oh. Okay. Oh, I'm trying to change the name of it. Sorry, bear with me. Got it. Okay. Let me just share my screen so you guys actually have it up and then I will start presenting. Okay, you just keep saying next. Every time you say next, I'll just click next.
Amazing, thank you.
No problem at all. That's what I'm here for.
Lovely. Yep. So yeah, next slide. Might as well get into the next one. Go straight in. So yeah, just a quick kind of bit of background on the company I work for, and then a little bit on myself, and then I'll go into my journey. So yeah, the West End is kind of a cultural area, hub in London, with lots of the most famous theatres in London and the UK. So there's lots of kind of entertainment around here and kind of more. So what Official London Theatre does is that it's a website, as well as having lots of social media channels. So we sell tickets and we also host events. So some of the big ones we do are the Olivier Awards, which is basically like the Oscars, but for the theatre. It's like the biggest kind of theatre event that goes on. It's kind of high profile and cool and fun and lots of celebs going. So yeah, that's a kind of big event that we do. And then we also have West End Live, which is essentially a free weekend of musical theatre in Trafalgar Square every summer. So in the bottom left there, you can see this is just kind of our website banner, but I thought it kind of gave a good overview of like the vibe of the company. And yeah, just on the right, a couple of shows that we sell tickets for. Yeah, there's so many shows that we sell for and it's great and really varied. So yeah, next. Cool. So as stated, my role is that I'm a content administrator. I know that kind of sounds a bit vague, but yeah, the main things I do is website and social content. So on the top right is kind of a screenshot of our website homepage. So what I do is kind of make sure that all the images, dates, everything is super up to date. So kind of editing in the back end and making sure it all looks nice in the front end for everyone who comes to buy tickets on our website. And then kind of in the bottom in the middle is like a screenshot of our Instagram page. So what I do is whenever shows send me some fun content, so like pictures of a new show or things like that, I'll get them up across our social channels. And then just the bottom left is kind of examples of fun sort of social stuff that we make using Photoshop and things like that. So yeah, it's super creative, and it's definitely a role that I didn't know existed when I was younger. I think when I was younger, it wasn't sort of super encouraged to go into social media as a career. It wasn't necessarily deemed as a viable career. But I think it definitely is. I mean, these backstage roles in theatre especially, they exist and we're here, and it's great. So yeah, I definitely think, you know, take comfort in the fact that a role you might do in the future, you might have never heard of, and you can do it and you can have a great time doing it. So yeah, next, please. Cool. So just going into my career journey a little bit. So in the bottom left is me when I was 16, my school leavers day. So again, growing up, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but I just knew that I wanted to do something creative and fun. But I was also quite academic, so I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I just kind of went with the flow. So for my A levels, I studied geography, English literature, philosophy and art. So quite a mixed bag, but I really enjoyed kind of writing and being creative. And yeah, I think when I was younger, I wanted to be an artist for a while. But I didn't really know. I was just kind of going with the flow and trying to do as best as possible in my exams and stuff, so that it would be I'd be open to opportunities moving forward. So that led me to studying a degree in religion, politics and society, a bit of a mouthful, at King's College London. So yeah, it was a very kind of broad mixed degree. So I did obviously modules in politics and theology and things like that, but I also did a module in like digital humanities, for example, where I wrote an essay about social media. So that kind of helped me realize moving forward that social media might be something that I'm interested in pursuing as a career. Again, at this stage, I didn't really know that that was kind of possible and out there. But yeah, whilst I was at King's, I also did a couple of jobs at the university. So for example, I was a student ambassador, so I would talk at events for prospective university students. And then the other main part-time role I did was that I was a student intern for the operations team. So a big part of that role was actually kind of working on their social media accounts. So it was quite a small following. It was for King's Academy, which is like the teaching and learning sphere. But what I did was kind of run their social media awards to promote kind of internal awards at King's College London. So in the bottom right there, you can see the King's Education Awards last year. It's basically just an award ceremony at the university where people can nominate their lecturer or whatever. And yeah, so although it was quite a small following, we had like 700 followers on our Instagram account. It kind of gave me that experience with social media in terms of how to kind of make your posts sound fun and not repetitive, and being a bit creative and using Canva and stuff to just introduce me into like the design world and stuff like that. So again, this kind of was a thing that I realized, oh, I'm really enjoying this. And as a kind of consumer myself of social media, these kind of things helped me realize like, oh, this is actually something that I could do in my job. So yeah, moving forward to the next slide, please. So getting into the theatre industry. So just under that text there, it says, I applied to be a social media intern for the Olivier Awards 2022. So whilst I was in my third year of university, as stated, I was kind of really looking to get as much experience as possible. I just wanted to leave university having some kind of something under my belt and a bit of experience there. So I was looking for stuff in social media, but again, I didn't feel too comfortable applying for things because I didn't come from a background of, you know, digital marketing or something like that. But because I had the passion for it, I think that's what really got me the role. For the interview, I made sure to kind of study all of the Olivier Awards social media accounts and give ideas of how I think we can cover it better, what we can do, those kind of things. And it was just kind of my passion for it that really got me that role. So this was for a week in my third year of university. Don't worry, I made sure to get all my essays done before I went off on the red carpet for a week. But yeah, what it kind of involved was, it was for a week leading up to the Olivier Awards. So it was kind of preparing social posts and making sure that all the tags for the nominees and things like that were correct, kind of attending rehearsals and covering it that way. And then obviously on the day, you can see my team there in the bottom left. So I was kind of helping on the red carpet and helping post, like live post things. So it was kind of definitely in the deep end. I went from kind of posting to small social media accounts to being like, you know, our Instagram has like over 50,000 followers. And I was like, I can't believe me, just a normal uni student, can just go ahead and post on the Olivier Awards channels. But it was super fun, and I really appreciated that the team really trusted me with it. And I had a great time. So just moving forward to the next slide. So these are just a few more pics from the Olivier Awards. So yeah, a couple of celebs that you might recognize. So those kind of ones on the bottom there, and actually from kind of stuff that I took on my phone, covering from the red carpet, or actually the green carpet in this case. So for example, on the right hand side, you can see the tiger from a production of Life of Pi that was happening in London. The tiger actually opened the carpet, so I made sure to kind of snap that on the Instagram stories at the time. So yeah, it was just like such a surreal opportunity. I remember I actually just got the app Be Real at the time, and I took a Be Real like on the carpet, and my friends were like, what the hell are you doing? You should be studying. But don't worry, I did my studying too. But yeah, it was such an amazing experience. And then yeah, just in the top left, you can see that's a screenshot of the Olivier Awards Instagram grid. So I was kind of assisting the photographer and the social media manager, just like posting and, you know, live posting captions and things like that. So yeah, it was such a cool experience, and I really enjoyed working with the team. They were also lovely, and although I didn't have, you know, so much experience, they kind of let me just go in the deep end. And if you're passionate about it, you can really get stuff like this if you just, you know, be proactive and put that work in. So just on to the next slide, please. So yeah, before going on to advice, just kind of moving on to how that led to my current role. So after I did that internship, I went and finished my exams at university last year. And then in summer, I saw that Official London Theatre were hiring. So it would be with the same team that I worked with as an intern. So yeah, I thought it would be amazing to work similarly on different campaigns and opportunities that I'd worked on at the Olivier Awards, because it was such a good time, and I just kind of wanted to develop my experience that way. So some stuff I've worked, so I've started working there full time since June, so it's been a couple of months now, and I've worked on the UK Theatre Awards. So at the bottom there you can see me and the team, so that's kind of celebrating theatres all across the UK, and also West End Live, which is yeah, in Trafalgar Square. It's such a cool chance if you want to go, if you're in London in summer, it's a great thing to go to just kind of get a glimpse of all the shows and the performances. So yeah, these are all kind of things that I worked on the social media for. So yeah, it's been great so far, and I'm still working on that. So in terms of advice, what I'd definitely say is that it's okay not to have your whole life and career planned out. And these kind of events are amazing because you get insight into, you know, what might be a bit of you, what might not be a bit of you. But if you don't have a kind of strict sort of structure of what you want to do, that's okay. And I think it can be quite easy to worry about that in the future, but sometimes life kind of just takes you in directions. And as long as you're kind of working hard and getting a bit of an idea, that's okay, and that's great. And I think what's really important is just being open to opportunities, even if they might not per se necessarily fit in with what you're doing. You know, I think at a glance, a degree in religion and a job in social media and marketing is kind of a strange combination, but I actually think it's kind of made me a more sort of multifaceted person, and I have different skills, and you know, I have academic interests as well as professional ones and personal ones. So yeah, I would just say be open to opportunities and also be proactive. So, you know, I just wanted to get experience in my third year of university, and if I didn't kind of get out there and really apply and go the extra mile for my interview to do as much as I could, I wouldn't have had that opportunity, and I probably wouldn't be working here now. So just kind of signing up to things and companies that you're interested in, just kind of doing the best you can and getting out there, asking questions, is the most important thing you can really do. And then lastly, kind of two things. I'll firstly just say, what's for you won't just pass you by. So yeah, and then I would also say just to follow what excites you. I think for me in my final year of university, when I was applying for jobs, I faced so many rejections, but also there was a lot of jobs that I was applying for that I knew I kind of deep down wasn't that interested in. But with, my interview to be an Olivier Awards intern, I wasn't really nervous because I felt like I knew social media like the back of my hand because I was a consumer. My screen time is way too high. I spend so long just scrolling through Twitter and TikTok and YouTube and all the rest of it. But it really excited me from deep down, and I think that's why it's kind of worked out as a career that I'm doing now. So yeah, that would be a bit of advice. And then lastly, I would just say if you're interested in kind of backstage roles in the theatre industry, you can check out Theatrecraft. So that is a kind of in-person free event. It's happening this year on the 20th of November. So it's all about off-stage roles in the theatre. So there'll be employers there and training providers if you're interested in London to go and visit. And then if you're not in London, you can kind of catch up a week later online, and similarly, employers will be there. Another really good one is Get Into Theatre. So it's getintotheatre.org, and you can kind of type in your postcodes and see what's going on in theatres in the area and type in your postcode and do it that way. So yeah, that's kind of me in a nutshell, my career in a nutshell, and I hope that was okay. But yeah, next slide is just a thank you for listening.
So sorry, I turned off. No,
that's fine. It just said thank you for listening, so I can say that.
Yeah, the verbal bit was enough, probably. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was absolutely amazing. I also have to commend you on your timekeeping there. Bang on 11:30, so unbelievable. Great resources, great signposting to those resources afterwards too. The Get Into Theatre one, where you can look for your local theatre, what's going on. That sounds like a really, really useful location-based tool that everyone can use, regardless of where they are. Fascinating. And I love what you said at the end there about your the combination of what you studied and what you do now. Might seem like a strange match, but that's because it doesn't matter really what you study. You can go on to do pretty much anything after school, after university, but you will always gain skills, regardless of what you study. Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, Yasmin. We are going to let you go now because we're on to the final speaker in this section. So thank you. Amazing stuff. Really interesting to hear you chatting. Oh gosh, I've lost you. There we go. Okay, found you again. And have a lovely rest of the day, and we will definitely be speaking soon.
Amazing. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.